McManus going up top for Eddie Brown. What a catch! Eddie Brown! Touchdown Edmonton! 64 yards, McManus to Brown for a spectacular opening major score.
You're watching ESPN Classic.
After a Grey Cup appearance last year and a 6-game win streak this season, these Toronto Argonauts are being favorably compared to Leo Cahill's 1971 Toronto team that included stars like Joe Theismann, Leon McQuaid, Jim Corrigal, and Jim Stillwagon. And the Grey Cup winning 1983 Argo team that featured Joe Barnes, Condridge Holloway, and Terry Greer, among others. The 1988 Argos have built their success on timely offensive production, a stingy defense that has a penchant for closing the door near its goal line and elsewhere on the field, and special team work that can only be described as superb. There can be no argument that as of this date, the Argos are the best team in the CFL.
And Toronto Argonaut head coach Bob Obilovich has said a number of times this season that this might be the best Toronto team he's ever had. Neil Lumsden, how good are these Toronto Argonauts?
Well, they're a very good football team, and they've proved that in many aspects on the field. But I think a pretty good indication, Bob, is they can get into a tight football game, not play exceptionally well, and still pull it out of the bag. And they've done that twice this year. And a lot of people use that as a sign of a good football team and one that can get an awful lot better.
Not many teams in the league have played better in the last 4 weeks than Calgary, but nearly only have 2 wins to show for those 4 weeks. They're 2-5. Pressure on them tonight.
The pressure and the addition of frustration because of the way they lost. Larry Caharet said they should have won, or they could have won both those football games, and they didn't. That's where the frustration comes from, and of course they're hungry for a win.
Well, in their last game last week, J.T. Hay missed a 45-yard field goal in the last play of the game, or they would have won. He's under the gun tonight. They thought about making a change, but he will be the Stampeders' place kicker tonight.
Back pain. Is it ruining your sleep? Does it hurt to bend over? Are you trapped in an endless cycle of dangerous pain pills? Is chronic back pain ruining your life? Well, finally, there's an answer. Introducing Back to Life, the 12-minute back pain solution that's changing the way America treats back pain. The secret to Back to Life's extraordinary results is a breakthrough technique called continuous passive motion. Simply lay back in complete comfort and let the Back to Life gradually and gently ease your tight muscles, making them flexible and supple. As your muscles relax, the continuous passive motion opens up compressed vertebrae and releases pressure on sensitive nerve endings. The cartilage becomes flexible again and movement becomes easier. The pain simply melts away. So now you can comfortably sit, sleep, walk, lift, enjoy your favorite activities, and finally get your life back.
To have years of pain basically ease away was absolutely incredible.
I would go to a mall for an hour and I'd say, hey, I got to get to the car. My back's killing me. Now I walk at the mall for exercise. All I know is that it works.
For 20 years, my back has hurt, and I've accepted it. And then I was introduced to Back to Life, and now all of a sudden it just doesn't hurt. Pain's gone.
Hundreds of thousands of back pain sufferers are now enjoying life virtually pain-free. And now you can try this amazing machine for the low 30-day trial price of only $14.95. That's right, you have 30 days to prove to yourself that the Back to Life will relieve your back pain, no matter how severe or how long you've suffered. So what are you possibly waiting for? Call the number on your screen right now. Ask for priority processing, or for faster service, visit our website at trybacktolife.com.
Call 1-800-340-0585 or visit us online at trybacktolife.com.
The OV Skyship gives us a picturesque view of Exhibition Stadium in Toronto as the Argonauts and Calgary Stampeders get set to meet for the first time this season. Larry Kuharich very simply stated today, Neil, we need to win.
And Larry Kuharich wasn't his bubbly self this morning. Looked like he had an awful lot in his mind, whereas Bob Obilovich had to face some other problems as he got into the dressing room today just a couple hours before the game.
Argos were forced to make a last-minute lineup change, and we'll tell you about that in just a minute. Hank Alisic hits the ball, and we're underway at Exhibition Stadium. Hopkins with a kickoff at the 20. And he's out to the 40-yard line. That's Sean Faulkner, not Hopkins, running it back for the Calgary Stampeders. Neil, the lineup change that the Argos were forced into.
Well, Carl Brazeley, who usually starts on the right corner, will be replaced by Terry Noble. And a strange thing happened to Brazeley last week in Regina. After the game, he put some ice on an injury on his right leg. The ice was left on too long, affected a nerve, and really bothered the foot. And the foot started to droop and drop, and it still isn't back to normal.
They thought he would be able to play, but found out that just before game time that there was no way, so they made the last-minute change. Rick Warman on first down. Hands off to John Williams, and he doesn't find much room off the left side. He did find Gerald Bayless, the Argonaut nose tackle, who stopped the advancement to perhaps a yard. It is a lovely night in Toronto, as you can see by those conditions. 21 degrees Celsius and no threat of rain. And the Stampeders with second down and a long 8 from there, 42. Warman, lots of time, throws in. It's nearly picked off by Willie Pless, and should have been. I don't think Pless would give us any argument on that.
Well, Pless, you can see wearing the gloves, has a sticky surface on the palms, but not quite sticky enough. And this is what a lot of teams try to do, is drop that ball behind the linebackers. See Landry right in the middle. But they have such great quickness, both side to side, moving up, but also getting back and responding when the ball's thrown.
You know, on a play like that, Neil, I often say the quarterback didn't see the linebacker. Do you think that's what happened that time?
No, I think he saw him, but I believe he thought he could get the ball over his head.
Okay, the kick by Harper, not a real good one, but Pernell Moore is not able to return it at the Toronto 38-yard line. He's stopped in his tracks. A 31-yard punt by Harper, who has averaged almost 43 yards on the season.
Gilbert Renfro admitted yesterday at the press conference, talking with him, that he's not quite happy in his performance, knows he can do better, finds himself forcing the ball a little bit more this year than he has in the past. I think it's just a matter of settling down, getting into the game early, and he thinks a big play early, especially a passing play, would make a difference.
That would boost the confidence. Renfro's thrown 10 interceptions. This year he threw only 4 all of last year. Gil Fennerty sweeping around the left side, and he'll have a gain of 11 yards and an Argo first down in their first offensive play of the game.
One of the ways they wanted to take some of the pressure off Renfro, was to get the ball to Fennerty early. Really put the defense back in the heels. Just simply a sweep to the left side. Good lead block by Hudson. Fennerty's quickness gets him to the outside, and number 80, Jeff Boyd, putting the block downfield on Ron Hopkins, allows Fennerty to get the first down.
Puts Fennerty over 500 yards rushing on the season. First down and 10 Argos. From there, 49. Fennerty again with it, and he has another 11 yards, this time to the Stampeder 50.
Well, Bob, success with the running game early will definitely help the passing game. See him cradle that ball well. Just nice cut straight upfield. Good job of blocking downfield on Ford. He's allowed to pretty much get into the secondary before he's touched.
And we know from talking with Larry Kuharich today that the Stampeders were looking for Gil Fennerty, as do all teams. As a matter of fact, Kuharich paid him the ultimate compliment. He said he is the Toronto franchise, at least on offense.
Well, he also said that whenever Toronto gets in trouble, whether it be throwing the football or in a tight situation where they have to run it, they always either dump the ball to Gil Fennerty or hand it to him. That's quite, as you said, that's not only a compliment from Kuharich, but from the offensive team that have faith in him to do that much work.
And it is a Toronto first down after the measurement. They're at the Calgary 50. We're just underway at Exhibition Stadium. There's no score. And Fennerty for the third straight time carrying the ball. This time he's held to a gain of about 4 yards.
Ken Ford has made a big impact on this Calgary team. You see right here, he gets a quick jump on the football before when the ball comes up. Makes it very difficult for an offensive lineman with that quickness to get in front of him and shield him off.
Well, Kuharich calls the acquisition of Ford the major move that they made after that 0-3 start to improve their defense. Really pleased with the impact Ford has made. Renfro sprinting left on this 2nd and 6, and he'll get knocked out of bounds at the Calgary 44-yard line, 4 yards short
of an Argonaut first down. Kenny Ford, one of the men over there to stop Renfro.
You talked about impact that he's made on defense. He's made some pretty good impact on players. If Renfro doesn't get down a hair at this time he did, Ford could have knocked him into the first row of the bleachers.
Well, had Renfro decided to take Kenny Ford on there, he would have come out second best, I'm afraid. He wisely hit the dust and missed the impact of that hit. Third down and about 4.5 from the Calgary 45. Elisic will try to angle it to the sideline and does. It's caught by Holloway out of bounds, and they'll mark it out at the Stampeder 11-yard line.
Watching Hank Elisic warm up before the game, there doesn't seem to be much of a wind down around field level and even up to the top of the goalpost, but after it goes past that point, a slight breeze can hold the ball up, and I think we're going to see that as the game goes on.
Well, there'll be tricky winds come off that lake, and I would say, Neil, that in this first quarter, as you pointed out earlier, it looks like what wind there is the Argos are going into. They're asking Elisic to place his kicks more this year, and his average has suffered in recent weeks because of that. It's 44-2 on the season, which is good, but not quite up to Elisic's very high standards. Tim Petros carrying on first down for the Stampeders, and he is stopped after a gain of 1 or 2. Petros and John Williams playing a second game in the backfield with Rick Warman. The receiving core that relies so heavily on Tolbert and Willis. The quarterbacks rely on them to catch most of the footballs. And a change in the offensive line. Watson replacing Rob Smith, who was moved out to right tackle because of an injury to Sean McEwen. Rick Warman and the Stamps 2nd and 8 at their 13-yard line. Warman over the middle for Tolbert, complete up at the 42-yard line. Excellent throw and catch by Emmanuel Tolbert and Rick Warman.
Great execution, not only in the catch and the throw, but see the deal up front. Bayless comes around. Number 61, Tom Spolatini, pulls from his guard position, picks Bayless up to give Warman the time to throw the ball.
Well, the Stampeder offensive line didn't feel that they did as good a job against Winnipeg as they need to do to give Rick Warman the time he needs to make things happen. They did that time. A 28-yard gain to Tolbert. 1st and 10 Stamps at their 41. This is Holloway carrying the ball from his receiver position. Has the great speed, gets around the corner. Knocked out by Reggie Pleasant at the Argo 53. A gain of 15 yards for Derek Holloway. The Toronto Argonaut defensive unit, Nolan Harper playing so well that the Argos were able to trade Dan Sellers to Ottawa for Paul Nastasiuk. The linebacking core with Landry playing hurt in the middle. And the secondary, Terry Noble, a last-minute replacement for Carl Brazeley on the corner. Stampeders in a scoreless opening quarter. We're 5.5 minutes into the game. 1st and 10 at the Argo 53. Warman to John Williams, and he battles for 4 yards across the Argo 50 to the 49, maybe the 48.
Asking Kaharich how Williams did in his first outing as a starter, he said he did an awful lot of his running on his own and was quite impressed and feels quite secure that as Williams gets more comfortable with his offensive line and vice versa, he will be a big plus for that offense.
Williams, a 27-year-old who spent 3 years in the USFL. One of those years he played under Larry Kuharich. 2nd down and 5. Warman, quick pass intended for Toner, I believe, but he got held up and did not get to the football.
Well read by Warman. See Larry Kuharich complaining a little bit that Marshall Toner was pushed off and interfered with as the ball was thrown downfield.
Glenn Harper, a 42.7-yard average on the season. That is 4th best in the CFL. Will kick on 3rd down and 5 from the Argo 47. And like Elisic, he'll try to get it out of bounds and will at the Argo 18-yard line. There's no score with 8.5 minutes left in the opening quarter.
You want to protect your teeth as much as possible. If you're using the leading sensitivity toothpaste, you're not getting protection against tartar, plaque, and gingivitis. With Crest Pro Health toothpastes, you get all these benefits in one toothpaste.
Only Crest Pro Health toothpastes protect against sensitivity in all these areas dentists check most. And with Crest Pro Health Sensitive Shield, you get a smoother formula. new Crest Pro Health Sensitive Shield.
And here's the weather. New York, sunshine. Tokyo, sunshine. It is 1 a.m. in Tokyo, Bernard. Details, minor details.
The next Lotto Max jackpot is $50 million, plus additional prizes of $1 million. That's right. This Friday's Lotto Max jackpot is $50 million, plus Max Millions. 26 additional prizes of $1 million.
Volkswagen won more awards this year than ever before. 17 and counting for our Autobahn-ready performance and our German-engineered safety. Of course, winning awards isn't new for us. Winning this many is. Come and discover your own award winner during Volksfest. With 0% APR up to 66 months on all 2010 Jetta models.
It's hard to tell just one story. They patrol the waters, defend the high seas and the depths. They stand in harm's way and clear a path for new shipmates. They've been the first to the rescue and the last to leave the fight. Imagine the stories you'd tell if you sailed for 100 years. 100 years of the Navy, one way to honor them. Visit mint.ca/Navy or look for the coin in your change.
Couple of young gentlemen who have an affinity for the New York Yankees, it appears, in attendance at Exhibition Stadium, watching the Argos and Stampeders, and right adjacent to the football stadium is the Canadian National Exhibition in full swing. And this game is 6.5 minutes old, and there's no score. The Argonauts, after a 30-yard Glenn Harper punter, first and 10 at their 18. The toss to Fennerty, right side. He's to the 25. And breaks it up to the 37 or 38 with a nifty inside move as he waited for his blocking to set up.
Well, you don't you don't have a good sweep without a good lead block. And watch Hudson put the shoulder down, just buried number 95 Lamont Jeffers, who's coming up from his linebacker spot. And then, as usual, Fennerty can be left on his own downfield to make some more yardage.
Fennerty had it in about 3 different gears on that run, and he got up to his 38-yard line. Renfro will drop straight into the pocket on first down. Will throw. Darrell Smith can't hang on. The ball high. He was hit by Derek Taylor a second after it arrived. Well, Gilbert Renfro has not taken off and run with the football as much this year, Neil, as he would have last year, as he did last year. And a lot of people think it's because the knee surgery he had in the off season, he's just not totally confident with the knee.
I think it takes a while, and I think having the game so close together this year has hurt him too, because he doesn't get a better chance to recover.
He's looking for Darrell Smith, who's wide open at the Calgary 40, and Smith is to the 29 of the Stampeders.
Well, just a great read and adjustment by Darrell Smith, and an outstanding throw by Gilbert Renfro. Watch him go down. He's got the position. Now he's going to break it out to the corner. And he just gets behind Taylor enough on that quick turn. Ends up getting a 43-yard gain. Good execution.
Taylor lost him for a split second.
Well, as soon as you get a defensive back in the position where you know that move's going to confuse him or make him turn his shoulders, you got him. And that's what Smith did.
43 yards, Neil, as you said, down on the Stampeder 29. This is Hudson carrying, and he's going to turn it outside and get 4 or 5 yards to the Stampeder 24-yard line. Lamont Jeffers ran him down. Renfro starting at quarterback again after giving way to John Kangemi last week. Barrett's the backup quarterback tonight. The receiving core with Jeff Boyd having only 1 catch last week, and the offensive line with a change there. Kardash playing at right guard. The Argonauts have all sorts of little nicks on their offensive line. Renfro throws complete to Boyd at the 17-yard line of the Stampeders, and that looks like it'll be a Toronto first down.
Well, that offensive line had to be a bit of a concern for the Arrows coming into the game. As you said, they're all a little bit nicked up except Ian Beckstead at the center. Randy Ambrosi, who usually starts at right guard, pulled a back muscle this week in practice in a very innocent drill. So They've got Bob Skemp backing up, who is also a little bit injured, and Blaine Schmidt.
Argos, 1st and 10 at the Stampeder 15.5. Gil Fenerty hit by Kenny Ford after a gain of perhaps a yard. 5.5 minutes left in the opening quarter at Exhibition Stadium. There's no score, but the Toronto Argonauts are looking very serious about changing that situation.
See, this time Jeffers gets up the field a little bit further and stands up instead of taking Warren Hudson on. So really makes Fenerty slow down and look for a spot where normally the man would have been knocked down, allowed Ford to fill the gap, make the hit and the tackle.
2nd and 9 Argos. Stampeder 15. Renfro, touchdown to Fenerty.
Bob O'Bilvich has mentioned a couple weeks in a row now that he likes to try to isolate Fenerty on a linebacker. And I believe he gets that matchup with middle linebacker Matt Finley having to go with the running back out of the backfield. You see Finley trailing. That's a tough job, I'm sure. Taking a running back to the flat and then having to follow him upfield isn't easy if you don't get some help.
A 7-play, 92-yard drive culminates with a touchdown. The Argos are in front.
Argos lead 7-0.
Falls are the #1 cause of injury to senior citizens. Falling down stairs can be disastrous. Acorn Stairlifts has a solution. Just don't fall. Sit, relax, ride with an Acorn Stairlift, the world's leader in stairlifts. That's right. Don't let limited mobility keep you from going up and down your stairs, even outside. Call Acorn Stairlifts now for a free information kit and no obligation quote. Now you can safely ride with your Acorn Stairlift.
Now I don't have to worry about him climbing those stairs again.
And our Acorn Stairlift was very affordable.
Our Acorn Stairlift is definitely more affordable than moving.
The Acorn Stairlift has a padded seat and backrest for maximum comfort. It easily folds up for access to the stairway. 5 safety sensors stop your Acorn Stairlift if there's something in the way. And it even runs during power outages.
And I'm the king of my own castle again.
You'll be working directly with the world's leader in stairlifts. That's right, there's no middleman. Acorn's trained technicians professionally install your stairlift directly to the staircase, in most cases in 2 hours or less, with no need for special construction. We don't leave until you're completely comfortable using your Acorn Stairlift.
Don't risk a serious fall down the stairs.
I was really surprised at how little they cost.
Call for your free no-obligation information kit and quote from Acorn Stairlifts. Just don't fall. Safely ride up and down your steps.
Give your life a lift with an Acorn Stairlift.
Call 1-866-981-6347 for your free, no-obligation information. That number again is 1-866-981-6347. 1-866-981-6347. Call now.
Call now.
The Toronto Argonauts lead Calgary 7-0, 3:48 left in the opening quarter. The Argos have won 6 straight games, which ties their modern era club record. And they have won 8 straight home games, dating back to last year and this year, which also ties the club record, which was set back in 70-71. So they can break a couple of club records if they can win tonight. Here's a long bomb to Jeff Boyd. He has it. And Hopkins saves the touchdown at the 2-yard line.
Jeff Boyd, who admittedly didn't play very well last week in Regina, has exploded here. An outstanding throw. Watch out, Jeff Boyd's hands don't come out till the ball gets there. Right now. Perfect pass, perfect catch. Not a bad pattern either.
Terrific throw, but Boyd had 4 steps on Hopkins. He had him beaten cleanly. 1st and goal, Argos. Stampeder 2. Fenerty, touchdown. Boy, they made that look easy.
Well, it almost makes you say, uh-oh. The Argonauts have been talking about not getting the explosiveness that they expected out of their offense. If you can get down there in that short a period of time with one play, there's no question that number 6 is going to get it in the end zone for you.
2 plays, 80 yards, Finnerty's second touchdown of the opening quarter, his 10th of the season, and a Lance Chomick convert with Soroska holding and a high snap. Soroska does a good job of getting it down. Will make it 14-0 Toronto with 2:48 left in the opening quarter. Jeff Boyd, the man who set up the touchdown. Neil, here's a team that's 6-1 and yet is so upset and disturbed by its offensive production. They changed quarterbacks this week, putting Barrett in for Kangemi, but Renfro looks better tonight than I've seen him all year.
Well, Bob Obilovich said that he wanted to start the game by running the football. They did that, 4 consecutive running plays to that man right there, Gil Finnerty, had some success with it, and I think that was the key. Because of that success, maybe that sets Renfro up a little bit.
Kick is caught by Holloway at the 36. Derek Holloway stumbles as he tried to get around Gerald Bayless, and he's down at his 33-yard line. The first quarter over, the Argonauts with 2 touchdowns by Gil Finnerty lead by 14.
You want to protect your teeth as much as possible. If you're using the leading sensitivity toothpaste, you're not getting protection against tartar, plaque, and gingivitis. With Crest Pro Health toothpastes, you get all these benefits in one toothpaste.
Only Crest Pro Health toothpastes protect against sensitivity in all these areas dentists check most. And with Crest Pro Health Sensitive Shield, you get a smoother formula. New Crest Pro Health Sensitive Shield.
Fuel economy matters to me.
Matters to Ford. Ford Motor Company has improved fuel economy more than any other major automaker.
Have you heard of EcoBoost?
Less fuel,
Fewer emissions.
more power.
The Fusion Hybrid.
It goes 75 kilometers per hour on battery power. That even beats Toyota Prius.
I get 1,200 kilometers on a tank.
I can go a month without filling up.
This car can teach me to drive smarter.
Ford is obsessed with fuel economy.
Without giving up performance.
Hey, I still want my fun.
If you haven't seen this lineup, you haven't seen Ford.
The next Lotto Max jackpot is 50 million, plus additional prizes of $1 million. That's right. This Friday's Lotto Max jackpot is 50 million, plus Max Millions. 26 additional prizes of $1 million.
What do you have that's different? But a Rickard's White. It's got a refreshing hint of citrus. It's like one of those planetarium laser light shows. In your mouth.
Hello, ladies. How are you? Fantastic. Does your man look like me? No. Can he smell like me? Yes. Should he use Old Spice body wash? I don't know. Do you like the smell of adventure? Do you want a man who smells like he can bake you a gourmet cake in the dream kitchen he built for you with his own hands? Of course you do. Swan dive into the best night of your life. So, ladies, should your man smell like an Old Spice man? You tell me.
It's a beautiful, clear evening in Toronto, and the OV Skyship gives us a overhead look at Exhibition Stadium. A happy Exhibition Stadium as the Toronto Argonauts lead the Calgary Stampeders 14-0. The second quarter will open with the Stamps 1st and 10 at their 33. Rick Warman for Petros. He has it. Puts his shoulder down and pushes ahead to the 41, and there's a penalty for a late hit against Selwyn Drain. And Plus and Landry wade into the Stampeder bench. Cooler heads prevail.
Well, there was a flag thrown on the sidelines, and I think it's going to be just a little bit too much oomph by Selwyn Drain in getting Petros out of bounds. He faces him up, does a good job, gets him out of bounds, and that, I think right about there, that push. McVeigh will move in and take a quick shot to the face. Blow by blow here.
Okay. Yeah, you'd have to say Drain was a little bit overly aggressive in taking Petros out of bounds. He, of course, wasn't looking for the sidelines, but you have to have some awareness of where they are on plays like that.
26. That's what I said. Back out, please. Major foul, unnecessary roughness, Toronto number 26. Objectionable conduct, Toronto number 26. First down.
I think he might not know where the sidelines was, but a pretty good indication would have been all those white jerseys with red numbers on them because they were kind of close to him when he made the push. So.
Well, a hit drain for rough play and objectionable conduct. And the Stampeders are now at the Toronto 44-yard line. The pass gained them close to a first down, but the penalties made it a net gain of 33. Emmanuel Tolbert with a quick pass over the middle from Warman. He gains 5, and we have another penalty flag.
Well, Bob, you spoke too soon on the penalty flag situation on the first quarter, because here they come.
Well, the Argos are going to be called again.
Toronto number 27. First down.
And this time it's Doran Major, the other defensive halfback.
I think you're going to see it right at the end here. He's going to come down with his helmet. Tolbert will be swung away by Pless right there, but I think they're going to consider that spearing or tackling with the head.
Well, he missed Tolbert, but that doesn't matter. The intent was very clear. 1st and 10 now. Stampeders at the Argo 24-yard line. And the Argos are a team that does not take a lot of penalties. Warman in the end zone. Now Willis broke that pattern off out near the 5-yard line. Nail and Warman threw it deep into the end zone. Willis waving at Warman as though he feels Warman misread the play.
Well, I think they both have to make the adjustments. Doug Landry in his middle linebacker spot's going to come in a blitz. Nicely blocked. Figured the shorter way was to the inside, but he was well taken out by John Williams.
2nd and 10. Stampeders at the 24 of Toronto. Rick Warman finds Emmanuel Tolbert, and he gets down to the 16-yard line of Toronto. He'll be 2 or 3 yards short of a first down.
Well, you gotta like that hustle. Pretty good move and effort to get the first down by Emmanuel Tolbert, but the hit was made by Nolan Harper. Now he lines up as a defensive end. He's going to come all the way across the field, 45 yards, and ultimately make the tackle. Tolbert trying to get inside and back out, and might have, if not for that good smack right there.
Now, for many teams in the league, we'd be surprised at a 3rd down and 3 gamble, but not from Larry Kuharich and the Calgary Stampeders. Here it is. Warman looks in the end zone. Tolbert all alone. Touchdown, Stampeders. So Calgary gets back into it, down 14-0. They're on the board, and penalties against the Argos play a major role in that scoring drive by Calgary.
The movement on Tolbert, he gets to the inside but sees there's no safety, and so does Warman. So instead of having to keep going across the field, Tolbert makes the adjustment and backs away, goes deeper in the end zone where the ball can be laid out nicely as it was, and well caught. Just good. Now that's a time where both the quarterback and the receiver adjust correctly.
We have seen some excellent offensive execution in this game thus far, and it's now 14-7 for the Argos. Just a minute and a half into the 2nd quarter at Exhibition Stadium.
You want to protect your teeth as much as possible. If you're using the leading sensitivity toothpaste, you're not getting protection against tartar, plaque, and gingivitis. With Crest Pro Health toothpastes, you get all these benefits in one toothpaste.
Only Crest Pro Health toothpastes protect against sensitivity in all these areas dentists check most. And with Crest Pro Health Sensitive Shield, you get a smoother formula. New Crest Pro Health Sensitive Shield.
Volkswagen won more awards this year than ever before. 17 and counting for our Autobahn-ready performance and our German-engineered safety. Of course, winning awards isn't new for us. Winning this many is. Come and discover your own award winner during Volksfest. With 0% APR up to 66 months on all 2010 Jetta models.
The next Lotto Max jackpot is 50 million, plus additional prizes of $1 million. That's right. This Friday's Lotto Max jackpot is 50 million, plus Max Millions. 26 additional prizes of $1 million.
Be wary of a woman who only shows up when you are winning. Stay thirsty, my friends.
No one can help you like we can. We know what you're going through. And no one will be there like we will. 'Cause we're all
locations.
Well, the Calgary Stampeders did opt to take the illegal substitution penalty against Toronto on that field goal tried by Chomnick, so they won't get the single point, and the score will hold at 14-7 Toronto. Argos have third down over, and they'll have to punt the ball at the Calgary 50. Ilisic at his 45 with a good snap, and he drives one. Holloway 10 yards in the end zone, and he'll concede the single point. So Chomnick didn't get it, but Ilisic did, although I believe the Argos wanted Ilisic to try and get it out of bounds down around the 5-yard line.
Stampeders were expecting that because both Faulkner and Holloway were inside the hash marks, expecting to have to move up to catch the ball. He's a little frustrated, but you know, what the heck, you come up with a single point.
Well, it's a very difficult thing for a punter to do, is place the ball exactly where you want it. If you're going to err, Neil, I suppose you should err to the open part of the field as opposed to hitting it too far up the sidelines, because then you do more damage. Rick Warman on first down throws. Reggie Pleasant moved in front of Holloway and nearly picked it off at center field.
Reggie Pleasant, the last few games we've watched him, has been just outstanding in man coverage, and once again he does a great job of jumping on the football, almost reacting before the receiver does to the throw.
Pleasant has 3 interceptions on the season. Rick Warman has a 2nd and 10 at the Calgary 35. Good exchange between center and quarterback, and Williams gets the little dump pass and finds his way across the 40 up to the 42, maybe the 43, about a couple of yards short of a first down. And even though Larry Kuharich loves to gamble, he's not going to gamble on 3rd and 2 at his own 43.
Doug Landry, a little bit of a freelance job there, moving around, never really telling the quarterback where he's going to line up. But what he does do is he ends up in the right spot when the ball is snapped. Was picked up just for a second by John Williams, and then John Williams escaped.
Harper's 3rd down punt gets a good kickoff. Pernell Moore at the Argo 20. And he steps away from the downfield man and gets it back up to the 35. Didn't look like he had any room. He was right up near the sidelines when he caught the ball, but made an inside move, froze a couple of stamps, and found a lane down the sideline.
Well, when you have the quickness and you've had the success of Pernell Moore, you can make that move and make people bite on it. And when he does that, sometimes the outside man or the contained fellow steps in and loses his position.
We've talked about the tremendous special teams the Argos have. They average 12.1 yards per punt return. Their opponents average 5.6 against them. So they net yards every time they kick the football and have it kicked to them. At least they have all year. Finnerty slides outside and winds up with a 6 or 7 yard gain on a play that looked like it was going nowhere.
Well, it sure looked like that from the start. The backside guard, Dan Ferroni, pulls up and tries to make a block, but even with his ability, gets outside. You can just never tell.
Finnerty off to a great evening. 8:26 left, second quarter. The Argos lead 15-7. Finnerty has both Toronto touchdowns, and the Argos are 2nd and 3.5. And Finnerty has the ball again, and he has a first down up to the Toronto 49-yard line. We talked with Obilovich in Regina about this guy exploding for that huge game. Neil, we're 7 minutes into the second quarter, and he's on track, isn't he?
Well, it's surprising coming into the game that his longest run was only 21 yards, but look at his peripheral right here. He sees the block on Finley and makes the cut back. I mean, that's pretty good confidence when it's 2nd and 4 and they run the football.
1st and 10 Argos from their 49. This is a screen to Gil Finnerty. Makes the first man miss and the second, and gets to the Stampeder 48-yard line. That's a 13 or 14-yard gain. And Finnerty has been every bit as good as Larry Kuharich said he could and would be in our pregame conversation with the Calgary head coach.
Well, you can see tempers are starting to raise a bit. You see Ford coming from the backside. Boom. And Jeff Boyd gives a pop and then receives one. But you just got to keep your head up downfield.
Argos at the Stampeder 47.5 with a 1st and 10. Here's a reverse to Dwight Edwards, and this one will be stopped for a 2-yard loss. Kenny Ford in to make the stop as the Argos attempt a little razzle-dazzle. And it doesn't work as well as their bread and butter plays have worked tonight.
Well, if you get a reverse and get it matured and it starts to work for you early, you have a chance. But Ford getting upfield and throwing off the blocking scheme, see Jim Carter had to come up and make the adjustment. There's a pretty good chance that you can throw off the reverse.
Second down and 12 yards for the Argos at the Calgary 50. Renfro has Hudson, puts his head down at the 40 and gets close to a Toronto first down. 6:15 the time remaining in the second quarter.
Quite simply letting the linebackers drop, and Hudson's going to step upfield and release into an area. I think if they can get Hudson the ball more out of the backfield, not only will it help the offense, but it will take some heat off of Gil Fenerty.
You know, Hudson's not what you'd call a big part of their offense. Fenerty's the main man, but the last 2 or 3 games, the Argos have used Hudson quite a bit.
Well, you get him with the ball out of the backfield. He gets some momentum. He's a tough guy to bring down.
They are just short of the first down at the Calgary 38-yard line. And with the fans urging him to gamble, Bob Abilovich has opted to do that, although I'm sure he would have without the advice. Argos lead 15-7. And they're 3rd and inches at the Stampeder 38-yard line. Renfro keeps it himself. Doesn't get much, but probably got enough to get Toronto the first down.
Well, if that situation had been a yard or more, I believe the Stamps would have been able to stop Renfro, because they got a tremendous surge on the right side of the defensive line by Belleville, Greg Raynard, who comes in short yardage situation, and Stu Laird.
Well, they didn't give him much on the placement of the ball. This is going to be close. He didn't make it. Gilbert Renfro stopped on 3rd and inches, made nothing. And the Stampeders take over the ball on downs. We have 5 minutes and 57 seconds left in the second quarter at Exhibition Stadium.
Back pain. Is it ruining your sleep? Does it hurt to bend over? Are you trapped in an endless cycle of dangerous pain pills? Is chronic back pain ruining your life? Well, finally, there's an answer. Introducing Back to Life, the 12-minute back pain solution that's changing the way America treats back pain. The secret to Back to Life's extraordinary results is a breakthrough technique called continuous passive motion. Simply lay back in complete comfort and let the Back to Life gradually and gently ease your tight muscles, making them flexible and supple. As your muscles relax, the continuous passive motion opens up compressed vertebrae and releases pressure on sensitive nerve endings. The cartilage becomes flexible again and movement becomes easier. The pain simply melts away. So now you can comfortably sit, sleep, walk, lift, enjoy your favorite activities, and finally get your life back.
To have years of pain basically ease away was absolutely incredible.
I would go to a mall for an hour and I'd say, hey, I got to get to the car. My back's killing me. Now I walk at the mall for exercise. All I know is that it works.
For 20 years, my back has hurt, and I've accepted it. And then I was introduced to Back to Life, and now all of a sudden it just doesn't hurt. Pain's gone.
Hundreds of thousands of back pain sufferers are now enjoying life virtually pain-free. And now you can try this amazing machine for the low 30-day trial price of only $14.95. That's right, you have 30 days to prove to yourself that the Back to Life will relieve your back pain, no matter how severe or how long you've suffered. So what are you possibly waiting for? Call the number on your screen right now. Ask for priority processing, or for faster service, visit our website at trybacktolife.com.
Call 1-800-340-0585 or visit us online at trybacktolife.com.
And night is falling on Exhibition Stadium, where the Calgary Stampeders are 2nd and goal at the Argo 12-yard line with 2:49 left until halftime. Rick Warman in the end zone for Tolbert, knocked away by Selwyn Drain. What does Larry Kuharich do? Does he go for 6, or does he take the field goal, or at least attempt the field goal?
Well, I'm sure he's thinking we had a chance to get 7 if it hadn't maybe been for that penalty. See, Tolbert settled down. I think that ball had to be thrown in there with a little bit more authority rather than being dropped in, because, as I said a few minutes ago, when you're down near your goal line, the zones in the area shrink, so there's less time to get the ball in there. Heads up play by Selwyn Drain.
And Warman had an Argo in his face, Neil, just as he threw the ball. He had to get rid of it, but as you say, he was a little late in getting it there. J.T. Hay has not had the kind of season he's accustomed to having, but this 19-yard field goal try is good, and it makes the score 15-10 for the Toronto Argonauts. Larry Kuharich admitted today that he thought about making a change in the place kicking area, but he elected to display some patience with J.T. Hay. And I think when you've played 11 years in the league and you have a good track record, you earn the right to a little more patience than, say, a rookie kicker would get.
Well, I think you're right. J.T. Hay has proven season after season that he is a very respectable, if not outstanding kicker, and because of a slow start, I don't think you give up on a guy.
Bob Obilovich pondering how this game at Exhibition Stadium has changed in the second quarter. His team led 14-0 in the first and looked very, very impressive. But the Stampeders have shown some life in the second quarter and are now within 5 points. Dwight Edwards with a kickoff return out to the Toronto 41.
A good opportunity to congratulate Dwight and his wife Margarita. The other day she had a baby boy by the name of Damon, 9 pounds 2 ounces. The proud father hobbles back to the huddle.
34-year-old Dwight Edwards, who's been with Saskatchewan, Ottawa, Calgary, Montreal, and back where it all started, his CFL career here in Toronto. Gil Renfro has completed his last 9, and he completes this one to Gil Finnerty, who gets a good block from Boyd, and that enables him to get to center field for a gain of 12 yards and an Argo first down.
Nicely set up, well executed. Not a bad call on first down either. You're going to see the offense pull, try to suck that defensive line upfield, now release, and they're all doing it to the right side of the screen. Now watch Fendi get upfield inside that little hole and then dip back out. Good block right there. As you said, Jeff Boyd. Good tackle by Ford.
Over the years, Jeff Boyd has been as adept at that as any wide receiver in the league, and that's helping out on a play with the block. Renfro, lots of room to run, but he'll throw and he'll complete it to Boyd. And he's out of bounds at the Stampeder 34-yard line. About a 16-yard advancement and a first down for the Argos.
Well, sprinting right to the receiver, Gilbert Renfro watching and isolating Jeff Boyd, man-to-man coverage. He pushes on the defensive back, then comes back slightly to catch the football. You know, that's one of the first times this year I've really seen Gilbert Renfro get outside with authority, feel confident, look confident, and throw the ball on the run.
He's doing everything with authority tonight, and his numbers speak for themselves. Finnerty with a handoff, gets away from a couple and is inside the 25 to the Stampeder 24. Almost, if not, a 10-yard pickup.
It continues to amaze me how Finnerty can make the first and second man miss, and I'll just let you watch right there.
Oh, McCrary.
I mean, you want to, you kind of lick your chops. You want to come up and put a big hit on him, put your helmet right in his chest, and then he's not there.
McCrary was waiting for him, and 1 minute he was there, and then he was gone. It is a first down, and Finnerty has the ball again. He'll turn it inside, put his head down, and drive to the 17 for a gain of 7.
I can't wait for the day that we see this play right here. Same execution, catches the pitch, and then stops and throws the ball downfield, because everyone in the defense and some of the people on the bench have tried to come in and corral him.
Well, Finnerty, of course, wears those gloves. I don't know how able he is to throw with those gloves on, but he seems to be able to run okay, and for now that'll be enough for the Argos. He has 97 yards in the first half. That has a minute 40 left in it. Toronto leading Calgary 15-10.
You see right there, left tackle and a big one, Chris Schultz from the University of Arizona, receiving some attention, and really you have to give an awful lot of the credit, at least the credit and success that the Argos have had on offense, to the offensive line. Bruised, beaten up, and yet they still continue to show up and give great protection.
The exhibition in full swing in Toronto. It's been going for a couple of weeks now, attracting large crowds as it always does. Schultz will leave for at least one play as the Argos are 2nd down and 3 at the Calgary 17. Finnerty has the ball. He has a hole. He's to the 10. He's to the 9, maybe the 8. First down, Argos.
Offensive line continues to do a great job of opening up the holes. Hudson's going to the right. He'll block the linebacker. Finnerty steps out wide, then gets himself going straight upfield.
You know, he was hit there just as he crossed the line. He made a little move with that leg to get away from the tackle. Well, he's putting on a show tonight. 1st and goal, Argos. From the 8 of Calgary, Finnerty now with 108 yards rushing. Renfro is going to take off with the ball, and he gets inside the 5 to the 4 of the Stampeders. Reluctantly, Renfro ran and got 4 yards closer to the goal line.
Watch the offensive lineman try to cut all the defensive people to get their hands down, because Renfro really wants to get back 2 steps and throw the ball quickly. Doesn't want anything in his way, but really a good job downfield in coverage. Makes Renfro pull the ball down, and I think that's what Karich wanted to see more of. Renfro running the football.
2nd and goal, Argos from the 4. Renfro, there's a flag. That'll be holding likely against the Argos. Dumps it off to Hudson, and he gets it down to the 3-yard line. There is a penalty flag thrown by head referee Ross Perrier, and 49 times out of 50 on a play like that, it'll be a holding call. 34 seconds till halftime.
Holding, Toronto number 37.
Hudson is fingered for holding.
Like the way you put that.
Fingered for holding, yeah.
Well, you see him working on the outside right there. Looks like he's doing a pretty good job on Hallman. But once Hallman makes that move and gets that big arm and his swing underneath Hudson's arm, Hudson has to latch on to make sure he doesn't escape.
Well, the Stampeders take the penalty, move the ball back to the 14. If they declined it, Toronto would have been 3rd and goal at the 3. Now they're 2nd and goal from the 14. Renfro throws in the end zone, and it's no good, but there's a penalty flag intended for Darrell Smith. McCrary with the coverage, and it looks like he is going to be called for what appeared to me to be a questionable interference penalty.
Well, anytime you see a
Calgary number 3. First down.
A defensive back running with the receiver and not turning around and gets his arm up, it's called screening. But it looked to me like McCrary had timed his turn just about when the ball was coming in. Very tight call.
Well, that's a tough call for the Stampeders. It gives the Argos 1st and goal, and Finnerty has it in the end zone. His 3rd touchdown of the night.
There you're looking at him. It's just like Money in the Bank. They get a shot at him close.
3 touchdowns on the night, 11 on the season for Gil Finnerty. That makes it 21-10 Argos. Chomik, if he can add the convert, which he does, ups it to 22-10 with 25 seconds left until halftime. A 9-play, 67-yard drive, and the touchdown set up by the pass interference call against McCrary.
And in that Argonaut drive, we saw a little bit of everything. Using Hudson, Finnerty, a screen, the running, the passing. I think we're seeing Toronto, and more specifically Gilbert Renfro, take charge of that offense and really do a good job in all aspects of the execution.
And that applause is for the Toronto offense, which has not sparkled all season long. Here's a team, as we said earlier, with a 6-1 record, and yet they've sputtered all season long on offense, but it looks tonight as though they have found all the right answers. And they started with Finnerty, which isn't a bad place to start, and then Renfro, who's looked to Sharper than he's looked all season. So Alisic will kick off with 25 seconds left in the half. Holloway will field it at the Calgary 15. And he gets hit head on by Cummings at the 25-yard line. Kevin Cummings leading the tacklers downfield.
Well, you wonder with the change in quarterbacks, with Danny Barrett now backing up Renfro instead of John Congemi, if that little shift kind of made Renfro think, well, maybe it's, you know, if I don't get things going, Barrett will be in soon. And if that's the case, Gilbert Renfro has responded and very positively to the pressure.
And there has been very little Calgary pressure on Renfro. The offensive line of the Argos has done a terrific job tonight of protecting their quarterback, and that's played a big role in his success. Warman completes a first down pass to Tim Petros for a short gain of close to 4 yards out near the Calgary 30 with 16 seconds left until halftime.
Not exactly the play they were looking for, the release pass out of the backfield to the running back.
Gil Fennerty, 3 touchdowns. He's gone over 100 yards rushing in this first half. Caught a few passes for good measure.
There's good reason to smile, doesn't he? Report on Chris Schultz is he was taken to the dressing room so they could get a jump on the halftime and get a closer look at that left knee of his as Rodney Harding gets back to his feet. Yeah, I asked a couple of the coaches before the game if there's the extra pressure on them with the short weeks, and you know, coaching is a very emotional spot.
Yeah, it's difficult to prepare when you only have 3 and 4 days between games. This is Holloway with the ball. He has a great speed, but he's not able to find the room he needs. As Terry Noble, the cornerback replacing the injured Carl Brazeley, came up to make the stop. 4 seconds remaining until halftime. The Argos, when they were in Regina last Friday, started a series of 4 games in 15 days. They'll play in Hamilton on Monday night, and then they'll play Saskatchewan at home a week from Friday. And of course, the good thing about this schedule, Neil, is they don't have to travel because Hamilton isn't really a road trip.
No, but it still gives very little time for the little injuries, like Landry has a twisted knee and a few of the offensive linemen have the injuries to recover, because they, you know, there was another 2 days before this game, like there used to be, they would have time, as the Argonauts, more specifically Bob Obilovich, looked like he was calling a timeout.
Argos did use their timeout to stop the clock. 4 seconds left. That'll make Glenn Harper punt the ball. Argos have 1 man back. They'll go for the block. Good snap to Harper, and it's blocked by Jake Vaughn. Visco has a touchdown if he can pick up the ball. Tony Visco, touchdown Argos.
Watch where Jake Vaughn goes, not to the punter, but to the spot to where the ball's being dropped. Excellent timing. Gets those hands out, keeps them together so the ball won't go in between them. And because of that effort, you get a good look. It's just out man.
Boy, that's a killer for the Stampeders, Neil.
Is this a treat or not? Right here.
Rookie Tony Visco.
Got so excited he forgot he was on the extra point team.
Yeah, that was now he's leaving the field. 23-yard run by Visco after Jake Vaughn blocked the punt. The Argos will be called for taking too long here as they got fouled up in terms of who should be on the field for the convert due to the excitement of blocking a punt on the last play of the half. You know, and a team can only take so many blows. The Stampeders had battled back from 14-0 to make it 15-10, and now 2 touchdowns in 25 seconds. The Argos are going to take a 29-10 lead to the dressing room at halftime. If Chomik makes the convert, and he does, And so 30 minutes are complete at Exhibition Stadium in Toronto. And the Argos, with that explosion late in the second quarter, have a 19-point lead.
There you're looking at them. It's just like Money in the Bank. They get a shot at him close.
3 touchdowns on the night, 11 on the season for Gil Fennerty. That makes it 21-10 Argos. Chomik, if he can add the convert, which he does, ups it to 22-10 with 25 seconds left until halftime. A 9-play, 67-yard drive, and the touchdown set up by the pass interference call against McCrary.
And in that Argonaut drive, we saw a little bit of everything. Using Hudson Fennerty, a screen, the running, the passing. I think we're seeing Toronto, and more specifically Gilbert Renfro, take charge of that offense and really do a good job in all aspects of the execution.
And that applause is for the Toronto offense, which has not sparkled all season long. Here's a team, as we said earlier, with a 6-1 record, and yet they've sputtered all season long on offense, but it looks tonight as though they have found all the right answers. And they started with Fennerty, which isn't a bad place to start, and then Renfro, who's looked sharper than he's looked all season. So Alisic will kick off with 25 seconds left in the half. Holloway will field it at the Calgary 15. And he gets hit head on by Cummings at the 25-yard line. Kevin Cummings leading the tacklers downfield.
Well, you wonder with the change in quarterbacks, with Danny Barrett now backing up Renfro instead of John Congemi, if that little shift kind of made Renfro think, well, maybe it's, you know, if I don't get things going, Barrett will be in soon. And if that's the case, Gilbert Renfro has responded, and very positively, to the pressure.
And there has been very little Calgary pressure on Renfro. The offensive line of the Argos has done a terrific job tonight of protecting their quarterback, and that's played a big role in his success. Warman completes a first down pass to Tim Petros for a short gain of close to 4 yards out near the Calgary 30 with 16 seconds left until halftime.
Not exactly the play they were looking for, the release pass out of the backfield to the running back.
Gil Fennerty, 3 touchdowns. He's gone over 100 yards rushing in this first half. Caught a few passes for good measure.
There's good reason to smile, doesn't he? Report on Chris Schultz is he was taken to the dressing room so they could get a jump on the halftime and get a closer look at that left knee of his as Rodney Harding gets back to his feet. Now, I asked a couple of the coaches before the game if there's the extra pressure on them with the short weeks, and you know, coaching is a very emotional spot.
Yeah, it's difficult to prepare when you only have 3 and 4 days between games. This is Holloway with the ball. He has a great speed, but he's not able to find the room he needs. As Terry Noble, the cornerback replacing the injured Carl Brazeley, came up to make the stop. 4 seconds remaining until halftime. The Argos, when they were in Regina last Friday, started a series of 4 games in 15 days. They'll play in Hamilton on Monday night, and then they'll play Saskatchewan at home a week from Friday. And of course, the good thing about this schedule, Neil, is they don't have to travel because Hamilton isn't really a road trip.
No, but it still gives very little time for the little injuries, like Landry has a twisted knee, and a few of the offensive linemen have injuries to recover, because they, you know, if there was another 2 days before this game, like there used to be, they would have time, as the Argonauts, more specifically Bob Obilovich, looked like he was calling a timeout.
Argos did use their timeout to stop the clock. 4 seconds left. That'll make Glenn Harper punt the ball. Argos have 1 man back. They'll go for the block. Good snap to Harper, and it's blocked by Jake Vaughn. Visco has a touchdown if he can pick up the ball. Tony Visco, touchdown Argos.
Watch where Jake Vaughn goes, not to the punter, but to the spot to where the ball's being dropped. Excellent timing. Gets those hands out, keeps them together so the ball won't go in between them. And because of that effort, you get a good look. It's just out man.
Boy, that's a killer for the Stampeders, Neil.
Is this a treat or not? Right here.
Rookie Tony Visco.
Got so excited he forgot he was on the extra point team.
Yeah, that was now he's leaving the field. 23-yard run by Visco after Jake Vaughn blocked the punt. The Argos will be called for taking too long here as they got fouled up in terms of who should be on the field for the convert due to the excitement of blocking a punt on the last play of the half. You know, and a team can only take so many blows. The Stampeders had battled back from 14-0 to make it 15-10, and now 2 touchdowns in 25 seconds. The Argos are going to take a 29-10 lead to the dressing room at halftime. If Chomik makes the convert, and he does. And so 30 minutes are complete at Exhibition Stadium in Toronto, and the Argos, with that explosion late in the second quarter, have a 19-point lead.
The best way to build the family car you want is to simply start with the car you want and add more room. The amazingly versatile, incredibly agile, fuel-sipping Mazda 5. Having kids has never been cooler.
Wait, is this right? Small blizzards are just $2.99? Oreo? Strawberry cheesequake? Banana cream pie? Any of them? Just $2.99 for a limited time? Man, that deal's so good it almost feels like stealing. Do it. Do it. And now do a pumpkin pie blizzard. Also just $2.99.
From decorating to renovating,
homeowners help you more.
We're 100% Canadian owned.
We have planned for all kinds of projects, big or small. We help you save during the home renovation sale.
Right now, when you buy $150 worth of Owens Corning pink fiberglass insulation, you get a $25 home hardware gift card to help with any home improvement project.
We have all the building materials you need during the home renovation sale.
Homeowners, helping homeowners.
Only at Home Hardware Building Center.
The best way to build the family car you want is to simply start with the car you want and add more room. The amazingly versatile, incredibly agile, fuel-sipping Mazda 5. Having kids has never been cooler.
Well, what compounds the Stampeder problem, if a 19-point deficit, Neil, against anybody isn't a big enough problem to overcome, they're going against the team with the best defensive record in the CFL, a team that has allowed 15 points per game, and in 4 of 7 games has given up fewer than 12. They're 19 points down. I am painting a bleak picture, I guess, for the Stampeders, and we have seen stranger things happen, but I'm trying to illustrate the challenge they face in this second half.
Well, I'm sure that Larry Kaharich's halftime talk was a little bit more upbeat than that. I know they realize what they have to do, and they have to do an awful lot in respect to execution. Their defense has to come up tougher and really nullify the long drives, of which Toronto have had great success. doing tonight. And when you drive the ball, everyone knows you use up the clock, and that's valuable time that the Stampeders need on offense.
Now, when the Stampeders are in the dressing room at halftime, they all have to be talking themselves out of being deflated, don't they? When you give up 14 points in the last 30 seconds of a half, after you've gotten back into a game, boy, that's got to hurt.
Yeah, again, it comes back to the word that I think it applies the best, and that's frustrating.
J.T. Hay kicks off to start the second half. Dwight Edwards at the 26. And he finds some room down the right side. Stopped at the Stampeder 52-yard line. Gilbert Renfro has completed 11 passes in a row. Gil Finnerty rushed for 109 yards in the first half. 353 yards in offense. That's way ahead of the Argos' season average for total offense per game.
Pretty efficient as the Argos get ready to snap the ball here. They're going to have to do it in the second half without big tackle Chris Schultz, who will not return to the football game, which leaves the Argonauts with one backup offensive lineman now.
Here's a handoff to Warren Hudson. He's not going to outrun Kenny Ford. Ford stops him at center field. A loss of 3 yards.
Well, that's the type of play you need. You need quick penetration. See Ford, all sorts of things happening around him. He's got his hands out in front of him. He's able to move without being attacked or blocked. Takes the man down with some help by Harold Hallman.
He can move. Kenny Ford has really done a job for the Stampeders since coming over in the Scott Flagel trade. Second down and 13. Argos at center field. Renfro throws. Jeff Boyd complete. The 37-yard line of the Stamps. Ron Hopkins, the man on the coverage, but a perfect pattern, a perfect throw.
And they had to. The pressure's coming from the Stampeders. Jeff Boyd's going to shove downfield, leaning a bit to the inside, and then breaks it out. Breaking it out past the first down marker.
That is 12 completions in a row for Gilbert Renfro. Jeff Boyd, after catching one pass for 3 yards in Regina last week, is having a large night. Renfro puts it out deep, and it's almost intercepted by Chris Major, who went up and got both hands on it, but when he hit the ground, the ball was gone.
Watching that play and thinking of Chris Major, wishing I'm sure he had done that same type of reaction last week. Unable to, this time he does it, and a good play. Gets in front of the receiver. His timing is perfect. Here he comes in. His eyes are on the football. The timing of the jump is excellent. He just can't squeeze it.
Darrell Smith, the intended receiver. Major having quite a year, and Renfro's spring of completions is halted at 12. Argos 2nd and 10 from the Stampeder 37, just underway in the second half. 29-10 Toronto. Renfro throws, no good, intended for Boyd at the Stampeder 15.
Well, it's the second time the Argonauts, more specifically Gilbert Renfro, has tried to find his receivers in the seam and has come very close. That time, if not for Derek Taylor coming over, Boyd might have had the catch.
Lance Chomick will attempt a field goal from the 44-yard line. He tried one earlier tonight, but a penalty negated the try, and after the penalty was assessed, the Argos punted the ball. Chomick has it up. He has the distance, not by much, but you don't need it by much, and he has it in the right area. It's 3 points for the Argonauts and a 32-10 lead over the Calgary Stampeders. 2 minutes and 3 seconds into the third quarter.
Bob Obilovich said to me today, if every time we get in a scoring situation inside the 45, we have to come away with points. And he's not talking about a single point on a punt, but a touchdown or a field goal. And he said, if we do that, I would think our offense is producing some consistency and well on our way.
Well, Obilovich is a very demanding coach. Up to this point, I don't think he could find anything wrong with his offense. Stampeders start from their 35. Petros carrying, gets 5. Turning it back upfield. Nolan Harper and Doug Landry were in on the stop.
Stampeders not going away from what seems to be their game plan. Sweep to the wide side of the field with Petros, and I think if they came back running and gunning immediately, the Argos might have their way with them defensively, but there's still a long time to play.
2nd and 5. Warman dumps it off to Petros. He'll have a first down up to the 49 of Calgary. Tim Petros having quite a year. He has scored 6 touchdowns on the season. He's rushed for over 300 yards and caught passes for close to 200.
And many of them have been like this. When the linebacker doesn't come, the responsibility of the running back is gone. So many times they just head out into the flat, become a relief receiver for the quarterback.
This is John Williams on first down, and he finds some room. Busts it down to the Toronto 43-yard line. Kuharich wanted to make ample use of Williams tonight, Neil, but the way the first half went, the Stampeders weren't able to get Williams the ball as much as they wanted to.
Well, a few more times like that, and if he's able to turn the corner as he did, and the Stampeders are able to seal that corner for him so he can turn around, get upfield, they'll have some successes.
Injured Stampeder, I think it's one of their receivers who was downfield and got tangled up with an Argo. Okay, Tony Dennis is the Calgary player that is being attended to.
Well, he threw a block downfield away from the play, being aggressive, trying to get the defensive backs on, sit back a little bit.
And he got poked in the eye.
Well, Pat Clayton, the athletic therapist, was checking them both. Of course, he can only check both because that's all he's got.
He's only got 2 eyes, yeah. The Stampeders, 1st and 10 at the Argo 43. 32-10 Toronto. Warman finds Tim Petros, who steps away from a tackler and gets to the 30. Gain of 13. Stampeder first down. Good looking Calgary drive, and this is what they need, trailing by 22 points.
Your guess of being poked in the eye, Bob, was exactly right. That's what happened. It'll take a while and get the focus back.
Warman sprints on first down. Has Tolbert wide open at the 25. He's not able to quite get to the 20, so he'll come up a yard short of a first down. But another successful play for the Stampeders.
Well, they sprint to the field where the blitz is coming from. Halfback Selwyn Drain tries to get upfield quickly, but Warman makes a good read with Tolbert getting out into the flat quickly to give him a place to throw it. That's the type of adjustments they need against this Argonaut defense.
Tolbert having a good night wide right with Willis on 2nd and a yard from the 21. Warman hands off to Petros, and he has the first down easily, getting through to the Argo 17 or 18-yard line.
When Kulka gets up, see him holding that left arm close to his body. It means, you know, who knows what it means. Sometimes it's just a quick jar to the shoulder. Probably have to get a rope and drag him out of the game if they want to get him out.
You and I saw Kulka earlier today without any clothes on the upper part of his body, and is he ever huge?
Yeah, he's pretty well chiseled for a big man, isn't he?
Oh. Warman looks for Willis, but he can't get to it in the Toronto end zone.
Warman's pass intended for Willis. Complete.
9:35 left in the third quarter. 32-10 Toronto. The Stampeders are 2nd and 10 at the Argo 18. Warman with time, has a man open, touchdown. Marshall Toner hit hard, and he lost the ball, but he had possession of it long enough, and the Stampeders have the touchdown.
Well, you don't have to have it long, and he had it just long enough before Lou Delorier came and rocked him pretty good from behind. Marshall Toner has to get away from Willie Pless, who's trying to get out to his zone area. Gives Toner a bump, but he keeps going and finds that soft spot. He's in right now for Tony Dennis.
That makes it 32-16 Argos. And J.T. Hay can make it a 32-17 football game in Toronto's favor, and he does.
It's tough. It's a truck, and it's a Ford. F-150. I've got a job to do.
And this truck makes it easier.
Tailgate step.
Bogside steps.
I can stow the back seats with one hand.
Look at this. Tool inventory control. It's a mobile office.
Why didn't anybody else think of this stuff?
It took Ford to figure it out.
Count me in.
I've been waiting a long time for this.
Ford's getting it done.
I drive one.
I drive one.
I drive one.
The new 2010 F-150. This is Ford today. Drive one.
Foreigner Can't Slow Down, their first new album in 15 years. 3-disc set also includes 10 greatest hits remixed in a live in-concert DVD. Can't Slow Down, available now at Walmart.
Hello out there, we're on the air. It's hockey night tonight. Tension grows, the whistle blows, and the puck goes down the ice. The goalie jumps and the players jump and the fans all go insane. Someone roars, Bobby scores at the good old hockey game. Oh, the good old hockey game is the best game you can make.
NHL 10, rated everyone 10 and up. EA Sports, it's a game.
This Friday's Lotto Max jackpot is $20 million. Lotto Max, live your dreams to the max.
Ford has pulled off a game changer.
It's the Ford Taurus.
The new Ford Taurus. Just look at it. Loaded with the latest technology. Blind spot monitoring.
Cross-traffic alert system.
Sync voice activation. Push button start.
Rear view backup camera.
6-speed paddle shifting. I can get it in all-wheel drive.
Load it. Load it.
It's loaded.
Fun to drive.
Fuel efficient. It's powerful.
It's today. I love the new Taurus.
The 2010 Taurus.
Only from Ford.
This is Ford today. Drive one.
Rick Warman has just thrown his second touchdown pass of the night, his 12th of the season. And he's having a pretty good night. But his Calgary Stampeders are still 15 points down to the Toronto Argonauts. It's 32-17, 5:42 the time of the score. Warman to Marshall Toner for the touchdown. We're in the third quarter.
Well, Warman getting some protection. He also has the ability of being flexible and almost like on a rail when he's in that pocket to slide and evade some pressure. So if they work hard for him, he can get the ball downfield and complete some passes.
Pernell Moore hit at the 35-yard line by Sean Faulkner, who came flying through there to cut Moore down.
Here's an example of what protection will do for you. It allows Marshall Toner to not only get bumped, disrupted a little bit. You see a nice clear view. There's that movement. Warman steps up and unloads.
You know, the two Calgary touchdowns tonight, Neil, have been through the air, which means that the Argos have yet to surrender a rushing touchdown this season.
That's incredible, isn't it?
That underlines how well they have played defensively, particularly in their own goal area. Gil Finnerty with a first down carry gets 5 to the 40, but a penalty flag accompanies Finnerty on his trip to the turf, and it's holding against the Toronto Argonauts.
Well, that's what the Stampeders have to work for. Getting up past the line of scrimmage in one of those gaps that Finnerty is going to pick and make him change his mind. And then, of course, once he's changed his mind, you see Lamont Jeffers do a good job of sliding off the block. Have some pursuit. You've got to have people coming to the football when you have a person like Finnerty running it. Because if you don't, he'll escape, as he has many times, that one tackler and be gone.
Finnerty has 3 touchdowns tonight. That's Carl Braisley, the injured Argonaut, who is unable to play tonight. Terry Noble, a rookie, replacing him on the corner. First and 20, Argos from their 25 after the holding penalty. Renfro to Hudson. Makes a good catch up at the 31. The ball comes loose, but the play had been whistled dead. Gain of 6 for Hudson and the Argos. 8:26 to go, third quarter. It's 32-17 for Toronto. The Argos looking to up their record to 7-1 as Kenny Ford, who once again has been all over the field, makes the stop on Hudson. Second down and 14. Argos at their 31. Renfro, lots of time, finds Dwight Edwards at the 45. That is a first down, it appears, for the Argos. They needed to get to the 45. They mark it at the 46. So Gilbert Renfro converts a second and long.
Enough to move the sticks. You see the pressure coming. Stamps are blitzing. That puts man-to-man coverage downfield. Dwight Edwards is able to get inside David McCreary. And I think when you look back at the Stampeders and the success and the problems that they've had this year, most of it comes in the secondary when they've gone man coverage. The defense has had much more success when they drop back and play different types of zone.
Finnerty carries on first down and bowls through across the 50 to the 51 for a gain of 5 yards. Renfro, Neil, has just thrown some beautiful passes tonight. His execution has been perfect on some of his throws. You couldn't ask for better thrown footballs.
Well, when you hear coaches talk about Gilbert Renfro and some of the qualities he possesses, compared sometimes to Warren Moon, the way he stands in the pocket and throws the strikes, good-sized quarterback. I think tonight we're seeing an opportunity or seeing the chance to really see some of these qualities that does make him very similar to some of the greats that have played.
2nd and 5. Argos at their 51. Renfro wants to put it up again. Lots of time. Look at this. Finds Edwards. There's that Jeff Boyd. It's Jeff Boyd at the Calgary 51. And that's going to be a Toronto first down. Another one.
Well, when you give your quarterback that much time, he's going to complete some passes. Look, he's put the watch on him. He's just standing there on his toes. They can't get close enough. And again, I think we have to give the credit to that offensive line. They're a little bit wounded. Chris Schultz is out, but they're doing a heck of a job in protecting their quarterback.
Jeff Boyd has got 6 passes for 148 yards. 1st and 10 Argos, Calgary 51. A fake by Renfro, who has lots of time off to the right, puts it up long, and it's no good. Darrell Smith, the intended receiver, but he was unable to break for the end zone, and Renfro had the throw go beyond the 3 players who were down in that area.
Well, we haven't seen Renfro sprint much tonight, but both times he's been outside, hasn't been bothered by a defensive player. That time he was accompanied by Dan Ferroni, the guard. And when you do sprint, you really cut down the field on where you can throw the football. And unless you get someone open quickly or coming back to the ball, the defense, I think, has a bit of an advantage.
5 minutes, 40 seconds left, 3rd quarter, 32-17. Toronto leading Calgary. Argos 2nd and 10, and we have a screen to Finnerty. Gets away from the first man, Gil Finnerty. Down to the Calgary 47. He'll gain 3 yards and leave the Argos with a 3rd and 7. But the play would have lost 3 yards if not for Finnerty's skills.
Well, it's interesting, just as the Stampeders start to get a little bit more pressure on Finnerty, or on Renfro, he dumps the ball off in a screen to Finnerty. Their timing and play calling has been really outstanding tonight.
Hank Alisic will punt on 3rd down and 7. The ball at the Calgary 47. Hank hasn't had much work tonight as the Argos have controlled the football. Most times they've had their hands on it. Alisic trying to angle this one out of bounds. Did he do it? No, it landed in the end zone, just in bounds. It's fielded by Sean Faulkner, and he will concede a single point. 5 minutes remaining in the 3rd quarter. The Argos up by 15.
The best interceptions are the ones you saw coming. The best hits are the ones you can almost feel. The best receptions are the ones you thought were impossible. And the best fumbles are the other teams. Rule number 88. Sundays are sacred.
Looking for great value? Try our delicious classic menu with sandwiches for just $3.29. Satisfy your appetite the affordable way every day. Subway. Think fresh. Eat fresh.
Ford has pulled off a game changer.
It's the Ford Taurus.
The new Ford Taurus. Just look at it. Loaded with the latest technology. Blind spot monitoring.
Cross-traffic alert system.
Sync voice activation.
Push button start.
Rear view backup camera.
6-speed paddle shifting.
I can get it in all-wheel drive.
Loaded. Loaded.
It's loaded.
Fun to drive.
Fuel efficient. It's powerful.
It's today. I love the new Taurus.
The 2010 Taurus.
Only from Ford.
This is Ford today. Drive one.
From the makers of Mobil 1, the official motor oil of NASCAR, come two motor oils specially engineered to enhance performance at specific stages of your car's life. Mobil Super 1000 for newer vehicles and Mobil Super 2000 for high mileage engines. Premium performance and protection for the vehicle you drive every day. Ask for the Mobil product that's right for you at your next oil change.
2 minutes and 42 seconds left in the third quarter at Exhibition Stadium in Toronto. Larry Kuharich, the 42-year-old head coach of the Calgary Stampeders, just had his team gamble on 3rd and 12. They didn't make it, marking the 15th time this season the Argos have taken the football over on downs. Renfro hit hard as he tries to throw on first down. And David McCrary, the defensive back for the Stampeders, had the best shot at the football.
Looked like the Stampeder front four a little bit cranked up. Stu Laird coming in, tries to get the leverage position, tries to jam that arm underneath to the left side of Kelvin Prunster. Prunster with a good shuffle, stays in front of Laird, doesn't allow him to get that one side or the other.
Football at the Calgary 53, 33-17. The Argos lead. Renfro having a little trouble with the ball, gets the pass off, and it's intercepted by Derek Taylor at the 44 of the Stampeders.
Well, a bit of a lift for the Stampeders. They get the ball back, good field position. That gamble right now has not hurt them. Things turned around. You're going to see Gilbert Renfro bobble the ball. Now come on, looks like he's kind of got pretty good position. Now tries to string the ball in there. Finley's in his face. Just a good play by Derek Taylor.
That is the first interception of the football game. Derek Taylor with his second of the season. Rookie from North Carolina State. And the Stamps, with 1:55 left in the third, have the ball back, which is what they desperately need. Rick Warman fires for Holloway, complete at the 44 of Toronto. Reggie Pleasant all over Holloway, but he made the catch for a gain of 21 yards. Gil Finnerty with 3 touchdowns. Toronto leading the Stampeders 33-17. The Argos getting 2 of their touchdowns in the last 30 seconds of the first half. Warman is hit just as he tried to release the football. It'll be an incomplete pass. Stampeders 2nd down and 10 at the Toronto 44-yard line. Time running out in the third quarter, 1:10 to go. Warman has not gone to Larry Willis much tonight, and Warman will do well to get out of this jam. No, he's down at the Argo 48-yard line. Gerald Bayless led the Toronto defensive pressure. Willie Pless was in on it too.
You see Warman gets back in the pocket, but never really will get an opportunity to set himself up. A little bit of a roll to the right to get away from some pressure. What normally has worked out before for him, stepping up. The Argos did a good job of closing those lanes down. Willie Pless coming up the middle and completely eliminating any chance to scramble.
Stampeders having some trouble with that movement by the Toronto defensive front. Harper will punt on 3rd down and 13 from the Argo 47. And he just got it away. Jake Vaughn, who blocked one near the end of the first half, almost got there. This is Pernell Moore with some fancy footwork, finally stopped at the 21-yard line by Sean Faulkner with 40 seconds left in the third quarter.
Chris Schultz limping around with that sore knee. They're not really sure what's wrong, and instead of taking a chance, it's best with the game in hand that he get out of his football clothes and put on those everyday clothes.
The Argos need to give their banged up players as much of a chance as they can to get healthy. And this is another one, Neil.
Doug Landry came into this game with a twisted knee. Bob Obilovich said it would be a classic example if we had another day or so between games, he would have a chance to recover. Offensive line coach Tom Higgins there holds a meeting with the big guys, picking up those stunts.
Telling story about the job Bob Obilovich has done here This is his 7th season as coach of the Argos. In the 8 years before Obilovich arrived on the scene, the Argos finished last 7 times. 7 out of those 8 years preceding Obilovich's arrival, they were a last-place team. And under Obilovich, they have had 4 first-place finishes and been to the Grey Cup 3 times. So with 35 seconds left in the 3rd quarter, the Argos are 1st and 10 at their 21-yard line. Gilfinity, good hole, out to the 33, tripped up by Derek Taylor.
I don't know. You talk about him so many times, use so many words to describe, but watch this acceleration, this little gallop move right here. You almost think if Derek Taylor hadn't got that shoestring tackle, he might have been on the way to his longest run of the year.
Argos 1st and 10 from there, 33. And here's Gill, the thrill again, jumping over a Calgary Stampeder, breaking a tackle and out to the 39 for a gain of about 6 on a play that ends the 3rd quarter at Exhibition Stadium in Toronto with the Argonauts in control.
Hello out there, we're on the air. It's hockey night tonight. Tension grows, the whistle blows, and the puck goes down the ice. The goalie jumps and the players jump and the fans all go insane. Someone roars, Bobby scores at the good old hockey game. Oh, the good old hockey game is the best game you can.
NHL 10, rated everyone 10 and up. EA Sports, it's in the game.
Is your car ready for winter? Visit Midas for tires and all your car care needs. Right now at Midas, with the purchase and installation of 4 tires, you'll receive a free winter maintenance package. Be safe. Trust the Midas touch.
Volkswagen, das Auto.
Argos out to up their record to 7-1. That's what they'll do if they can hold on and win this game. Renfro all night, and he finds Jeff Boyd up at the 47-yard line. The Stampeders think that Boyd dropped the football, and Boyd appeared to be a bit unsure himself.
Well, we're going to get a chance to see if he was able to get those arms cradled underneath the football. The ball's low. He's coming towards it. He has to go down. Did it go through? And those goalposts are just in the wrong spot, aren't they?
Yeah, it was hard to tell from that look, but the officials have ruled that Boyd did not catch the football. Although the Argos argue vehemently that he did. The replay inconclusive.
Usually a pretty good idea where the ball was caught on is how irate the receiver is. And Jeff Boyd kind of, well, I think I caught it. And not much complaining after that.
Well, when he looked around to see if they were going to give him credit.
See if anyone was looking.
Yeah, it's kind of a tip-off that maybe he did drop it. That's what they've ruled. 3rd down and 4, and Olesic will punt. And Holloway will receive at the 35. And he's not able to get around the corner.
Illegal block. Calgary number 79. 1st down.
Block. What happened, Greg? You get underneath? Low? Low? No, I got him on his shoulder.
Rick Warman from the 24. The Stampeders were penalized on that punt return for an illegal block. Warman long for Holloway, wide open. And he's down to the Argo 42-yard line. Derek Holloway gives Calgary a big gain into Toronto territory.
Rick Warman was able to buy just enough time to allow Holloway come all the way across the field. The ball's going to be dropped well behind Landry, and you could almost feel that Holloway was going to get. He felt like he was going to get an opportunity to run with the ball after he caught it. There he goes, moving laterally. Kulk is in his face.
Rick Warman has thrown a couple of touchdown passes tonight. Has the Stampeders at the Argo 42 with a 1st and 10. Pumps, has to move, gets the ball away, and it should have been caught. Instead, it's intercepted by Willie Pless. Derek Holloway had the ball go right through his hands.
Well, those are the things you look back on when you watch the films tomorrow, and I think you said it. The ball should have been caught. Not only was it not caught by a Stampeder, you're going to see Warman. I mean, this is a tough throw. He's going one way. He just sidearms it underneath Landry's arm. Very catchable, but the ever alert Willie Pless coming through the area looking to make a hit. Came up with something even better this time.
You know, when a quarterback goes to that much trouble to make that good a play,
you better catch the ball.
Well, he shouldn't have to pay for it with an interception, but he did. And Jeff Boyd has a 1st down hitch pass from Renfro and gains in the area of 5 yards. We had a penalty flag, and now we have another. .12:17 left, 4th quarter. Toronto leading Calgary 33-17.
Well, I think it all started with that block to the outside. What might have been called a clip by the officials, and then the fellas figured they would discuss a few things afterwards, exchanging recipes, golf handicaps, things like that.
Yeah. Bob Abelovich with John Kangemi standing behind him, out of uniform.
Major foul, unnecessary roughness, Toronto. Objectionable conduct, Calgary. 2nd down.
So both teams get called, and it'll be 2nd down.
Consider that one somewhat of a saw-off as Ellis Rainsberger takes exception to what is going on in the field, either that or the call.
They called rough play on the Argos after Jeff Boyd caught the pass. And after it's all sorted out, it's 2nd and 10 Argos from there, 46. Renfro rifles it to Smith. Darrell Smith is to the Calgary 42-yard line for a 1st down.
Darrell Smith had mentioned weeks ago he wanted to see the football a little bit more. And this is what he does so well. Watch him get down, make a nice cut to the inside, turns Derek Taylor around, and now he sees a chance to break one.
2nd catch of the night for Darrell Smith as Renfro continues to roll up the yards. Smith and Boyd wide left, and that's a pretty good combination. Here's Gil Finnerty, and he's not able to find the room he was looking for. He'll get 2 or 3 yards close to the Calgary 40.
Stampeders, pretty good job of stringing it out here. You see Jim Kardash, who's moved to left tackle, replacing Schultz. He'll try to face off the defensive lineman. Look at, they keep popping him outside. Just a nice job, and then who's there but number 41? Ford to turn him in, and Quincy Williams makes the tackle.
Boy, has Kenny Ford ever been in on a lot of tackles tonight. Again, 2nd down and a long 7. Argos at the Calgary 40. Renfro with time. Throws complete. Dwight Edwards at the 25. Chris Major brings him down. But the Argos have another 1st down. There is a penalty flag, though, back near the line of scrimmage. And it's holding against Toronto, so this one will come back.
Holding. Toronto number 56. 2nd down repeated.
Center Ian Beckstad is called for holding, and he's the only member of the Toronto offensive line, Neil, who doesn't have an injury of some kind.
And I think that might be different after this game. I've watched him limp around a couple times after the play's been over.
I think what you're going to see is some great pressure by the Stampeders, but watch just the simple flick by Gilbert Renfro. Just, I mean, tremendous strength. He's on the other side of the field, and he throws that all the way across to Dwight Edwards.
Second down over. 17 to go. Argos at the Calgary 50. And it's a screen to Finnerty. Does he get away? Yes, he gets away from the first tackler and is down to the 41 of the Stampeders for a gain of 9, leaving the Argos 8 yards short of a first down.
Well, Finnerty leaves a wake of tacklers behind him. Lamont Jeffers, number 95, I'm sure figured he had him and that there was no question about it.
25-year-old Gil Finnerty. As we look at 28-year-old Hank Ilisic, 28 years old in his 12th CFL season.
Came right out of high school in Edmonton to kick for the Eskimos. Was on a number of Grey Cup teams with them.
6 Grey Cup rings in his jewelry case. And he tries to angle this one out of bounds and does.
This Friday's Lotto Max jackpot is $20 million. Lotto Max, live your dreams to the max.
Hello out there, we're on the air. It's hockey night tonight. Tension grows, the whistle blows, and the puck goes down the ice. The goalie jumps and the players jump, and the fans all go insane. Someone roars, Bobby scores at the good old hockey game. Oh, the good old hockey game is the best game you can.
NHL 10, rated everyone 10 and up. EA Sports, it's a game.
Time is starting to build a strong case against the Calgary Stampeders. 9:23 left, fourth quarter. The Stamps trailing 33-17 to Toronto, and deep in their own territory at their 14-yard line after a Hank Ilisic punt. Warman to Petros on a draw, and he'll gain 4 yards, maybe 5. Landry has a bruised hip, but he came up with a solid defensive play there.
An outstanding play. The Stampeders give him a set. There he is on the left side of your screen, hangs in there, doesn't bite on the pass for a second, takes on the blocker, and then makes the tackle.
Textbook middle linebacking play. Warman swings it out to Petros, who has to fall to get down and get the football, and then was unable to get up and make the yardage he needed for a first down.
This defense is now beginning to tee off as we get a look at Terry Noble, who, so he said, replaces Carl Brazeley. He took every snap this week in practice because of Brazeley's foot, but they figured Brazeley would be able to come back and play. That is not the case, and as you see, not a bad shot. He's just, Terry Noble's one of the fellas that the Argonauts found in their free agent camp in Michigan this year. A couple other notable starters, Nolan Harper and Pernell Moore. So I'd say that they should be holding that camp every year because they've got some good ball players out of it.
Well, it's remarkable how many good players free agent camps have turned up. This is a fake, and there's nothing but room for Tim Petros, who has a chance to go all the way. No, he'll be run down, or will he? He's to the 20-yard line, the 19-yard line of the Toronto Argonauts. 8:05 left in the fourth quarter. The Stampeders get a big play that they very badly needed.
From the makers of Mobil 1, the official motor oil of NASCAR, come 2 motor oils specially engineered to enhance performance at specific stages of your car's life. Mobil Super 1000 for newer vehicles and Mobil Super 2000 for high mileage engines. Premium performance and protection for the vehicle you drive every day. product that's right for you at your next oil change.
Volkswagen, das Auto.
Rule number 19, keep your friends close. Number 20, keep your enemies closer. Number 76, choose your friends wisely.
With the Argonauts in good position, ahead, well ahead, the Tank Landry is out of the game. He'll be replaced by Bruce Elliott at the middle linebacker spot.
Second-year player from Western Ontario, 23-year-old Bruce Elliott gets a chance to get some playing time. 3:30 left, fourth quarter. 16-point Toronto lead. Stampeders first and 10 of their 28. Warman chased by Kulka and caught for a loss of 3 and a penalty flag. Holding against the Stampeders is the indication from head referee Ross Perrier.
Argonauts making a couple of other changes. Blaine Schmidt, who's been in for the last quarter and a bit, played very well at the defensive tackle spot. He'd love to get himself a sack, wouldn't he?
Oh.
Major foul, face mask, Calgary number 67, second down.
Rudy Phillips is called for the face mask penalty, but the Argonauts have declined it, or have they? No, they're going to take the penalty.
Why is it second down then? Should be first? How did we lose it down? Why?
Larry Kuharich is wondering why it is second down instead of first down over, and I don't know whether they're ruling this penalty perhaps came after the completion of the play.
That's what it has to be, or it would be a first down again.
Yeah. Must be what they're ruling. So it's second down and 25. Stampeders from their 12-yard line. 3 wide receivers to the left. Warman sprints that way and dumps it off to Petros, who doesn't get away from Willie Pless. Delorier helping with the tackle. Petros up to the 23, but well short of a Stampeder first down with 2:58 left in the fourth quarter.
Foreigner Can't Slow Down, their first new album in 15 years. 3-disc set also includes 10 greatest hits remixed and a live in-concert DVD. Can't Slow Down, available now at Walmart.
This Friday's Lotto Max jackpot is $20 million. Lotto Max, live your dreams to the max.
Fall, a season synonymous with vibrant colors, fresh air, walking in the woods, bird watching, and running. Whatever you're into, Celebrex wishes you a happy season. Ask your doctor about Celebrex.
What you're looking at is a world-class luxury crossover. 8-passenger luxury. 5-star crash safety ratings. The best highway fuel efficiency rating. And introducing the 60-day satisfaction guarantee. If you don't love it, return it. Simple as that. The 2010 Enclave, the luxury crossover from Buick. See your Buick dealer today.
You're watching ESPN Classic.
Gil Fenerty has had a big night for the Toronto Argonauts, who lead the Calgary Stampeders 33-17. Stampeders punting, on 3rd and long. Harper gets it out of bounds, but doesn't get it very far downfield before it went out of bounds. They'll mark it out at the 45-yard line of the Stampeders. 2 minutes and 45 seconds left in the 4th quarter. And Larry Kuharich, who has had to watch his team go 2-2 in their last 4 games, even though they played so well in all 4 and lost the last 2 in the last minute and a half of each game, must be feeling, well, frustration, you name it, he's feeling it. And Gil Fenerty has provided some of the pain that Kuharich has felt this evening. It's also the 2nd consecutive game that the Stampeders have had a touchdown called back because of a penalty. They scored earlier in this quarter, but it was called back for holding. Here's Gil Fenerty, another good gain to the 28-yard line of the Stampeders. First down, Argos. Fenerty continues to roll up the yards.
Well, running backs that have success like this have a great awareness and great sense around them. And this opportunity, watch him almost slow right down to let Bob Scamp, 64, get in front of him and then direct and say, hey, let's go going upfield, I'll follow you. And that's exactly what happens. And Fenerty reminds me so much of the days that I watched the great Dick Shadow.
Fenerty carrying from the 28 on first down, gets another 6 or 7 through the middle. You know, his offensive line has done a terrific job for him tonight, but he makes so many of those yards on his own, Neil, by, as you said on the last play, just pausing and reading, and he has that, I think, that vision that the outstanding running backs need to have. Fenerty has just hit the 200-yard mark rushing on the night. And he'll add 1 or 2 to that. Would you believe 4 or 5 on 2nd down and 3? He pops through for a first down, and you can hear the fans at Exhibition Stadium. That noise is for Gil the Thrill.
Well, Bob Obilovich told us last week he figured it was going to come soon. He thought it might have happened last week. Very stingy Saskatchewan defense didn't let it happen, but this week, right from the word go, the first 4 plays of the game went to that man, Gil Fenerty, and they haven't stopped.
First down, Argos, and 10 from the 17. Fenerty again. He has now gone over 700 yards rushing on the season. He gets to the Stampeder 10 for a gain of 7.
Well, if you can't find this fella exciting, you don't have a heartbeat, because I think he's shown us everything.
And he looked on that play maybe a little bit tired.
Yeah, but don't you believe it. He doesn't want to get this ball right now and take it in the end zone. He might get the opportunity.
2nd and 3. Guess who? And Fenerty will be close to an Argo first down around the 7 of the Stamps. 56 seconds left on the clock at Exhibition Stadium. The Argos putting the finishing touches on a 7th straight victory, which would be a modern era club record, and on a 9th straight home victory, which is an all-time club record.
Well, when you're having success running the football, the game certainly moves along quickly, and maybe more importantly, keeps the ball away from the opponent's offense.
Now, who do you suppose will carry on 1st and goal from the 7?
Well,
stymied, aren't you?
If I was a betting man, I'd say number 6.
Aha! Fenerty, this time he stopped. He'll gain 1, maybe 2 yards. David McCrary moved up from his defensive halfback spot. I think maybe the Stampeders were kind of expecting Fenerty to get the ball there too. Renfro looking to the sidelines for some guidance on what to call here on 2nd and goal from the Stampeder 5. Fenerty having an Argo club record rushing tonight. He's over 200 yards. And he's got it again. He'll get a couple down to the 3 of the Stampeders.
1955.
The Toronto club record was set by Corky Tharp in 1955. He rushed for 202 yards. Finnerty has broken that. And on 3rd and goal from the 3, the Argos are going to go for the touchdown. Finnerty's up to 219. Barring a penalty, this will be the final play of the game. And will it end with Finnerty scoring his 4th touchdown? The outcome doesn't ride on it. And Finnerty doesn't get there. He stopped at the 1. But the Argos send their fans home in a delighted, raucous mood, as not only do they win again, but they win with dash and with flair. And that's if the fans of Toronto have had a complaint this year, Neil, despite all the winning. It's that, yeah, but you don't do it with pizzazz.
Well, you can't find any more pizzazz than we've seen tonight. The defense, as usual, has been very solid. You expect that almost from the Argonauts, but the offense has been spectacular, and spectacular not only with Gil the Thrill Finnerty, but the execution by Gilbert Renfro, the receivers, the outstanding job by the offensive line. I think if you're going to talk about a complete performance by a football team in 1988 so far, the Toronto Argonauts has given that, exactly that, tonight.
Traps it. Here he goes, bidding for one. Here's the clear. Here it is. He scores! Hextall scored a goal on the empty net.
This is the first time in my 40 years being around this game that I've actually seen a goaltender do that.
You're watching ESPN Classic.
The proverbial perfect day for football is no better than this one. Warm sunshine, no wind. The Toronto Argonauts and the Edmonton Eskimos for the 2nd time in as many weeks. The Eskimos winning by 17 points last week. The Argos promise a better performance today, and in the 4th quarter they were beaten last week. Otherwise, though, Tom, it was an even game, as the score of 21-all after 3 quarters indicated.
I thought both teams played pretty well. The Argos certainly didn't have difficulty moving the football, but they didn't have any finish, and I think it cost them the game, although the Eskimos came on very strongly in the 2nd half in Edmonton last week.
As Hank Olisic gets set to kick off, we tell you that Henry Williams and Stephen Jones are deep for the Edmonton Eskimos. The kick to Jones' side may go out of bounds. Indeed it does, and that'll be a penalty right off the bat against the Argos.
Both these teams did a pretty good job last week, I thought, Dave, in special teams, and Bob Obilovich alluded to that fact at the top of our show. Some very dangerous receivers for both teams. Of course, the Gizmo, he's king of the castle in that department. Pernell Moore has really razzle-dazzled people back here this year. Both very dangerous. If they get a block, they're capable of going all the way at any time.
Illegal kickoff. Toronto number 8.
There you see that Joe Faragalli has had some problems during his career with the Argonauts, and obviously Bob Obilovich would say the same about the Eskimos. It's been a good rivalry, culminating in last year's Grey Cup, perhaps more than any other game that'll be remembered. And maybe they'll be back in the '88 Grey Cup at Ottawa. Who knows? Certainly 2 of the top contenders.